You're listening to Midweek Politics with Dave Pakman.
Welcome back to the show. Bill Scher is here, blogging at liberaloasis.com and ourfuture.org, also host of the Liberal Oasis radio show, and I must say, a professional competitive eater as well. Now, is that also on the list?
Second place in the local burger eating contest 2009.
What was first place? How many burgers was that?
I did 6 burgers in, I think it was 15 minutes, and the winner had 7.
That's not that bad.
Yeah, no, it was very close. And it was reported on Facebook that the winner did not keep it all down after the fact.
See, I think that should default to you then. Lewis, I think, is more of an authority on eating contests, but doesn't that mean Bill technically should have won?
Well, how long? How long did he hold it down?
And Bill, you should talk right into the mic.
The same day that he did not make it through the evening, but he did not regurgitate on the premises.
Well, maybe if it's not within the hour, it's valid.
I'd say give him an hour, yeah.
So maybe it held.
Still, very impressive, Bill.
Thank you.
So the healthcare bill passed without any of the sneaky tactics that were kind of floating around. We had deem and pass.
Did not happen.
We also had, what else did we have that was in there that didn't happen?
This was literally a traditional legislative process. The Senate passed a bill with 60 votes.
Right.
That bill went to the House. They passed it verbatim with a majority vote, and the president signed it. It is just like Schoolhouse Rock. I'm just the bill.
Right.
The only wrinkle in this now that's not completed yet is there are a series of tweaks to the bill that the House and Senate negotiated informally, and that is now being dealt with in the reconciliation process, which is designed to pass bills that cut the deficit only and cannot be filibustered in the Senate. So they can pass with a simple majority vote, although the minority still has the power to propose unlimited amendments,
right,
so long as they are germane to the budget and have a Congressional Budget Office score.
So we'll get to, there's all these funny names like the Cornhusker Kickback and Gatorade that Republicans seem to be obsessed with. We'll get to those. The bill that has passed, what is actually in there that is going to change the healthcare insurance situation? So what is in this bill?
Well, there are a number of things that happen immediately.
Okay, what are those?
That are smaller, not the big reforms, but children with pre-existing conditions cannot be denied coverage immediately. There's $40 billion in small business tax credits to help small business provide insurance to their employees. If you're a child, quote unquote, up to age 26, you can stay on your parents' plan. And a lot of the uninsured are people right out of college who don't have great jobs with great benefits right away.
Right.
So that's going to make it. That's going to capture a good chunk of the uninsured right away. That's some of the big early stuff. The big reform kicks in at 2014 when everyone who is currently uninsured, or if you work for a small business, and many small businesses struggle to offer coverage to their employees, you can enroll in what's called a health insurance exchange, and you'll be able to choose between insurance companies that the government finds are providing quality insurance, and you will get subsidies from the government to pay for that insurance, so you're not being forced into buying something you can't afford, in conjunction with everyone being legally obliged to buy health insurance except for people with a legitimate hardship.
So this would be different than the situation in Massachusetts where some people end up saving money by not carrying insurance and choosing to pay the fine because they can't afford insurance.
Well, that might happen.
That's not good.
That's why it's not a literally universal plan. It's an expansion, an estimated expansion of 32 million people, which is very, very large. But it will not cover everybody because, one, there is this hardship exemption. So if the premiums, as it stands in 2014, are 8% of your income or more, then you are not legally obliged to buy the health insurance.
Gotcha.
So that way, no one will be flat out forced to buy something they just can't afford. And you may get some people that would say, hey, I'd rather pay the fine than buy the insurance. But I think it's going to be a very small number of people. You're going to pay something either way. And most people are going to say, if I'm going to pay something, I'd rather get something for it or actually get the health coverage.
The roll call that was requested when they were voting, which was where each member would be asked and they would verbally say for or against. That to me sounded just like a political posturing thing, which is if we can get everybody, if the Republicans were going to lose this either way, if they can get video of Democrats voting in favor, then they can use that in campaign videos. Is there any other reason to request that roll call vote?
Well, that is what they wanted, but
they didn't get it.
They didn't get it, and I don't really think it mattered in the end because, as you are seeing, upon passage, the poll numbers are going up
for the Democrats.
Right.
But my question is, was it only the reason for the Republicans to do that is just to have campaign video,
yes,
right? That's
correct.
the only reason.
Correct.
Okay.
Yes.
So there's a few other things going on here simultaneously, which are these attorneys general. I don't know how many there are now.
About a dozen, I think.
About a dozen Republicans in Republican states saying for their state, they want to sue the federal government because they believe what has happened now is unconstitutional. This mandate specifically is the unconstitutional part. Is that the best shot the Republicans have? Is it the only shot?
It's no shot.
It's no shot. So you don't think anything will come of it?
It's a completely illegitimate legal reasoning that these attorney generals are trying to do. They are basically trying to argue that it is unconstitutional under the 10th Amendment, which is this extremely vaguely worded amendment that has been litigated in the Supreme Court before. To people on the far right have tried to say that the federal government can't do anything because of the 10th Amendment, and it's been routinely knocked down. So unless you had a wholly stacked Supreme Court of right-wing nut jobs, and maybe it's close, but it's not 5. It's not a majority of the Supreme Court that's like that. There is no way. I mean, it wouldn't have just knocked down this law. It would knock down almost every federal law on the books.
Right.
That's just not going to happen.
Well, on Twitter, conservatives were going completely crazy as this was happening. Abort the Dems now. Regarding Pelosi, is this bitch for real? I have one word to describe this legislation: tyranny. Monday, take your money out of the banks. Good job, Nancy. Chairman Mao would be proud. How long will this go on for? Through the 2010 election, at which point only very tiny things will even have been enacted from this bill?
Well, the tenacity and the long memories of the extremist right are always very long and deep. So they may continue with these histrionics for a very long time.
Elephants never forget.
Right, right.
Midweek Politics is brought to you in part by Jackson & Connor, classically modern men's apparel in Northampton, Massachusetts on the second floor of Thorne's Marketplace, and by DIF Design, specializing in custom business websites at difdesign.com. To find out more about underwriting Midweek Politics, visit midweekpolitics.com.